5 high-protein breakfasts that won't spike your blood sugar. You wake up, you check your blood sugar. It's higher than you expected. So you think, okay, I'll eat something healthy. Maybe oatmeal, maybe whole grain toast, or maybe a banana and coffee. And an hour later, your glucose spikes. Here's the frustrating part. Breakfast is supposed to be a healthy meal. But for many people with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, it's actually the most dangerous meal of the day. Not because you're eating bad food, but because your body is different in the morning. When you wake up, your cortisol levels rise, your liver releases glucose, and your body is temporarily more insulin resistant. That means the exact same carbs that barely move your numbers at lunch can send them soaring at breakfast. This is why so many people say, I don't even eat that much. Why is my morning sugar so high? The problem isn't just carbs, it's structure. If you build breakfast the wrong way, even healthy foods will spike you. But if you build it correctly, you can. Stay full for hours. Avoid mid-morning crashes. Reduce post-meal spikes. And stabilize your entire day's glucose curve. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 high-protein breakfasts that won't spike your blood sugar. And more importantly, I'll explain why they work biologically. Because once you understand the formula, you'll never look at breakfast the same way again. Let's fix your mornings first, and your numbers will follow. Why morning blood sugar spikes happen. Before we jump into the breakfast, we need to understand something critical. Morning metabolism is different. If you've ever noticed that your blood sugar is hardest to control in the morning, you're not imagining it. There's real biology behind it. The dawn phenomenon. In the early morning hours, your body releases hormones like cortisol and growth hormone to help you wake up. Cortisol's job is to raise blood sugar. It tells your liver, release glucose. We need energy. That's normal. But if you have insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, your body doesn't handle that glucose efficiently. So you wake up with elevated blood sugar before you even eat. Then you add a carb-heavy breakfast on top of that, and your glucose climbs even higher. And it's not just about what you ate, it's about when you ate it. 2. Temporary morning insulin resistance. Many people are slightly more insulin resistant in the morning compared to later in the day. That means your muscles are less responsive to insulin. Glucose stays in the bloodstream longer. Carbs hit harder. The same oatmeal that causes a mild rise at lunch may cause a sharp spike at 8 a.m. This is why healthy breakfasts often backfire. 3. The carb-heavy breakfast trap. Common breakfast choices: oatmeal by itself, toast and jam, cereal, fruit smoothies, banana and coffee. These are mostly carbohydrates with minimal protein. Carbs digest quickly, they raise glucose quickly, and without enough protein or fat to slow the process, the spike can be steep. Then comes the crash. By mid-morning, you're hungry again, not because you need more calories, but because your blood sugar rose fast and dropped fast. The real solution. Instead of fighting morning biology, we work with it. Here's the formula you'll see repeated in every breakfast today. Protein plus fiber plus healthy fat. And most importantly, at least 25 to 40 grams of protein. Protein slows digestion. Protein improves satiety. Protein reduces glucose spikes. Now let's apply that formula to real practical breakfasts you can actually make. Breakfast number 1. Eggs, avocado, and sauté vegetables. Let's start with one of the most blood sugar stable breakfasts you can build. Simple, high protein, low spike risk. What it looks like: 2 to 3 whole eggs, avocados half, a generous serving of sauté vegetables, spinach, mushrooms, zucchini, peppers. Optional feta cheese or smoked salmon. This meal can easily deliver 25 to 35 grams of protein, depending on portion size. And here's why that matters. Why it doesn't spike blood sugar. Minimal rapid carbs. Eggs contain virtually no carbohydrates. Avocados are mostly healthy fat and fiber. Non-starchy vegetables are low in digestible carbs. That means there's very little fast glucose entering your bloodstream. 2. High protein equals slower glucose response. Protein slows gastric emptying and reduces the speed at which glucose enters the blood. It also increases satiety hormones, meaning you stay full longer, which prevents mid-morning snacking driven by blood sugar crashes. 3. Healthy fat stabilizes the curve. Avocado adds monounsaturated fats, which further slow digestion and help flatten the glucose response. You're not eliminating carbs entirely, you're controlling the speed of absorption. Who this is ideal for? People with high fasting glucose, anyone sensitive to carbs in the morning, those wanting maximum stability. If your goal is the flattest possible glucose line, this is a strong option. The common mistake: adding 2 slices of toast, hash browns, large portions of fruit. Now the carb load rises, tide, and so does the spike potential. You can include carbs, but they need structure and balance. We'll talk about that in the next breakfast, because not everyone wants eggs every day, and you don't have to eat them to control your morning numbers. Breakfast number 2, Greek yogurt protein bowl, built the right way. If you prefer something cold, quick, and slightly sweet in the morning, this option works extremely well if structured properly, because yogurt can either stabilize your blood sugar or spike it. The difference is in how you build it. What it looks like: 1 cup plain Greek yogurt, full fat or 2%. 1 to 2 tablespoons chia seeds or ground flaxseed. A small handful of berries, 1/2 cup max. A tablespoon of nuts or nut butter. Optional, scoop of unflavored or low-carb protein powder. This can deliver 25 to 35 grams of protein easily. Why it works: high protein content. Greek yogurt contains significantly more protein than regular yogurt. Protein slows digestion and improves satiety, helping blunt glucose rise after eating. If needed, adding protein powder increases stability even further. 2. Controlled carbohydrates. Berries are lower in sugar than most fruits and contain fiber, which slows glucose absorption. The key is portion control. A small handful stabilizes. A full bowl of fruit spikes. 3. Fiber plus fat combination. Chia seeds, flax, and nuts add fiber, healthy fats, additional satiety. This combination slows the rate at which glucose enters the bloodstream. The hidden trap. Most flavored yogurts contain added sugars, syrups, fruit concentrates. Some contain as much sugar as dessert. Granola is another common mistake, often high in refined carbs. If your yogurt bowl tastes like candy, your glucose may respond like you ate candy. Who this is ideal for? Busy mornings. People who prefer sweet breakfasts. Those who don't want eggs daily. Anyone who tolerates dairy well. When structured correctly, this is balanced, satisfying, and blood sugar friendly. But what if you love oatmeal? Most people with insulin resistance are told to avoid it completely. In the next section, I'll show you how to make oatmeal work without the spike. Breakfast number 3, protein oatmeal. Yes, you can eat it. Oatmeal has a reputation. Some call it heart healthy. Others say it spikes blood sugar instantly. The truth? Plain oatmeal, by itself, is mostly carbohydrates. And in the morning, that can be a problem. But you don't have to eliminate it. You just have to rebuild it. Why plain oatmeal spikes? Even though oats contain fiber, they're still a concentrated carb source. If you eat 1 cup cooked oats with banana and maybe honey, you've created a high-carb meal with minimal protein. In a body already dealing with morning insulin resistance, that can produce a sharp rise. How to turn it into a stable meal. Here's how you fix it. Add protein. Critical step. Mix in a scoop of low-carb protein powder, or stir in liquid egg whites while cooking, or serve with Greek yogurt on the side. Target: 25 to 40 grams of protein total. This dramatically changes the glucose response. 2. Add healthy fat. 1 tablespoon almond butter or peanut butter, or crushed walnuts. Fat slows digestion and flattens the curve. 3. Add fiber boosters, chia seeds, ground flaxseed. This increases viscosity in the gut and slows glucose absorption. 4. Control the portion. 1/2 cup dry oats before cooking is usually sufficient. More oats equals more glucose load. What happens when you build it correctly? Instead of a sharp spike and crash, you get gradual glucose rise, longer satiety, stable energy. You're not eliminating carbohydrates. You're controlling speed and balance. Who this is ideal for? People who enjoy warm breakfasts, those who tolerate oats well, individuals who prefer moderate carbs. Remember, your glucose meter is the final judge. Test plain oatmeal one day. Test structured protein oatmeal another day. Compare the curve. Up next, we'll look at a savory, ultra-simple option that requires almost no cooking and is surprisingly powerful for blood sugar stability. Breakfast number 4, cottage cheese power plate. If you want something fast, high in protein, and extremely blood sugar stable, this one is underrated. Cottage cheese may not be trendy, but metabolically, it's powerful. What it looks like. 1 cup full fat or 2% cottage cheese. Sliced cucumber or cherry tomatoes. 1 to 2 tablespoons pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds. Optional smoked salmon or boiled eggs. Drizzle of olive oil and black pepper. This easily delivers 25 to 35 grams of protein depending on additions. And it requires almost no cooking. Why it works. Naturally high protein. Cottage cheese is rich in casein protein, which digests slowly. Slow digestion equals slower glucose release. Slow digestion equals longer satiety. You stay full for hours. 2. Very low in rapid carbs. Unlike cereal or toast, this meal has minimal fast-digesting carbohydrates. That means you're not stacking carbs on top of morning insulin resistance. 3. Fat plus fiber for stability. Seeds add healthy fats, fiber, micronutrients. This combination further flattens the glucose curve. Sweet version option. If you prefer sweet, cottage cheese. Cinnamon, small handful of berries, chopped almonds. Just keep fruit portions moderate. Who this is ideal for? People who want ultra-stable mornings, those trying to reduce carb intake. Anyone who doesn't want to cook. It's simple, effective, and blood sugar friendly. But what if you need something portable? Something you can grab and take with you? In the next section, we'll build a high-protein breakfast wrap that travels well without wrecking your glucose. Breakfast number 5, high-protein breakfast wrap, portable and stable. If your mornings are rushed, you need something you can hold in one hand, not something that spikes your glucose before you reach work. This is where a properly built breakfast wrap works extremely well. The key word is properly. What it looks like. 1 low-carb or high-fiber tortilla. 2 eggs or tofu scramble. 2 to 3 slices turkey or grilled chicken. Handful of spinach or sautéed peppers. 1/4 to 1/2 avocado. Optional, small amount of cheese. This can easily provide 30 to 40 grams of protein, depending on portions. Why it works. High protein anchor. Eggs plus lean protein like turkey or chicken create a strong protein base. This stabilizes glucose and prevents sharp spikes. Protein slows digestion and reduces the rate of glucose entry into the bloodstream. 2. Controlled carbohydrates. The tortilla is the main carb source, so choose wisely. Look for high fiber. 8 to 15 grams net carbs. Minimal added sugar. A standard white flour tortilla can contain 25 to 35 grams of refined carbs, enough to spike some people. 3. Fiber plus fat balance. Spinach and vegetables add fiber. Avocado adds healthy fat. Together, they slow the glucose curve and increase fullness. Common wrap mistakes. Using large white tortillas. adding hash browns inside, sweet sauces, ketchup heavy or sugary dressings, drinking orange juice on the side. The wrap itself may be stable, but what you pair it with matters. Who this is ideal for: busy professionals, commuters, parents, anyone who needs convenience without compromise. You can even meal prep several wraps in advance. Now that you've seen 5 structured options, let's shift gears because sometimes it's not what you add, it's what you accidentally do wrong that causes the spike. Next, we'll cover the most common breakfast mistakes that silently sabotage blood sugar. 5 breakfast mistakes that secretly spike your blood sugar. Sometimes it's not the meal itself, it's the structure around it. You can choose healthy foods and still see frustrating spikes. Here are the 5 most common mistakes. Drinking your carbs, fruit smoothies, orange juice, sweetened coffee drinks. Liquid carbohydrates like fruit juices and sweetened coffees digest extremely fast. Even if it's natural sugar, your bloodstream doesn't care. Without fiber structure, glucose enters rapidly, especially in the morning when insulin sensitivity is lower. If you want fruit, eat it whole. Don't drink it. 2. Eating fruit alone. A banana by itself. An apple on the go. Fruit contains fiber, yes, but it's still primarily carbohydrate. Without protein or fat to slow absorption, your glucose may rise faster than expected. Always pair fruit with Greek yogurt, nuts, eggs, cottage cheese. Structure matters more than the fruit itself. 3. Skipping protein. Toast and coffee, cereal and milk, oatmeal with honey. If your breakfast has less than 15 grams of protein, it's likely not enough to stabilize your curve. Aim for 25 to 40 grams. Protein is your morning anchor. 4. Overeating healthy carbs. Oats are healthy. Whole grain bread is better than white. Sweet potatoes have nutrients. But portion size still determines glucose response. Healthy carbs can still spike blood sugar, especially in large quantities. Health halo is not equal to glucose neutral. 5. Coffee plus pastry combo. Caffeine increases cortisol. Add refined carbohydrates on top of that, and you've created a perfect storm. Elevated morning glucose, rapid carb absorption, steep spike. Coffee isn't the problem. Unbalanced coffee pairings are. The big takeaway: if you fix even one of these mistakes, your mornings may improve significantly. But here's something even more important. Not everyone responds the same way. In the next section, we'll talk about how to personalize your breakfast using your own glucose feedback because your meter tells the real story. How to personalize your breakfast using your glucose data. Here's something most people overlook. There is no universal perfect breakfast. 2 people can eat the exact same meal and have completely different glucose responses. That's why personalization matters. Use your glucose meter as feedback. If you use finger sticks, test before eating. Test 1 hour after. Test 2 hours after. Look at the pattern. Did you spike sharply? Did you stay stable? Did you crash later? If you use a CGM, continuous glucose monitor, even better. Watch the curve. Flat and gradual rise equals well-structured. Sharp spike and rapid drop equals needs adjustment. 2. Adjust one variable at a time. Don't change everything at once. For example, at day 1, plain oatmeal. Day 2, oatmeal plus protein powder. Day 3, oatmeal plus protein plus nut butter. Compare responses. Small adjustments create measurable differences. 3. Find your personal carb threshold. Some people tolerate 30 to 40 grams of carbs in the morning. Others spike with urshakua. Your tolerance depends on insulin sensitivity, sleep quality, stress levels, activity, overall metabolic health. The goal isn't zero carbs, the goal is controlled response. 4. Pay attention to how you feel. Stable glucose often feels like clear focus, steady energy, no intense hunger by 10 a.m. Spikes often feel like mid-morning fatigue, cravings, brain fog, your body gives clues. 5. Think in patterns, not perfection. One spike doesn't mean failure. Look for consistent patterns over several days. If most mornings are stable, your structure works. If most mornings spike, adjust protein upward first. Protein is the easiest and most powerful lever. Now let's bring everything together into one simple framework you can remember every single morning without overthinking it. The simple framework for stable mornings. After all the science, examples, and strategies, here's what it really comes down to. Breakfast doesn't need to be complicated. It needs to be structured. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember this formula. Protein plus fiber plus healthy fat equals stable blood sugar. That's it. Step 1. Anchor with protein. Your first question in the morning should not be, what sounds good? It should be, where is my 25 to 40 grams of protein coming from? Eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, protein-enhanced oatmeal, lean meat. Protein is the anchor that stabilizes everything else. Step 2. Add fiber. Vegetables, chia seeds, flax. Berries in controlled portions. Fiber slows digestion and flattens the glucose curve. Step 3. Include healthy fat. Avocado, nuts, seeds, olive oil. Fat slows absorption and improves satiety. What to minimize? Liquid carbs, large refined carb portions. Sugar-heavy, healthy breakfast foods. Low-protein meals. You don't need extreme restrictions. You need intelligent construction. Why breakfast sets the tone for the whole day. When you spike hard in the morning, energy crashes, cravings increase, hunger hormones fluctuate, decision-making gets harder. But when your glucose stays stable, focus improves, appetite stabilizes, energy lasts. The rest of the day becomes easier to manage. Morning stability creates momentum. Final thought. You don't have to eliminate carbs. You don't have to fear breakfast. You don't have to skip the meal entirely. You just have to build it correctly. Start tomorrow with one structured change. Increase protein, balance the plate, watch your numbers, fix your mornings, and your entire glucose pattern can shift. And if you found this helpful, try one of these breakfasts this week and let me know in the comments. See how your body responds, because when you understand the formula, you're no longer guessing, you're building. Thanks for watching.